What's up, YouTube? What's going on? It's your boy Tenzin, one third of the SOS podcast, and I am so proud to have Miss Helen Greene with me today. She's part of the recovery from religion, and also the host of Free Thinkers Fireside Chat, a great podcast. I was actually on it, and yes, the title definitely means what it says. It's a fireside chat. It's not really, I mean, there's some structure, but no, it's just two to three. However, how many guests have you had on at once?
Well, I usually do one-on-one, but if I'm having a celebration, like my birthday or a fundraiser, I will be, just something, or I'm just streaming, want to hang out. I'm like, hey, let's go play Christian Mad Libs on my stream, and I'll invite friends. I've had up to, like 8 people like in a live chat, but it's usually a party, but usually interviews are just like one-on-one. So
Okay.
But I did want the vibe to be, we're just bullshitting, like there has to be some structure, because there's things that are important to other people that I want to discuss. But also I always say, like, we don't have to stay here. Like Ethan Michael was on, and we were supposed to talk about building atheist community, and instead we talked about kink and sex for an hour and a half. So I have to change the thumbnail on that one.
And that's what I like. It's that was probably like one of the first podcasts I've been on, which I hadn't been a featured guest on a lot of them. I'm usually the one interviewing people, but yeah, I was able to relax my shoulders, and no pressure, just talk. And yeah, that's what it's all about. Great conversation. So just like most, do you identify as an atheist?
Yes.
Okay. So just like most American atheists, you were a former theist. And what was your faith?
So I grew up Catholic. I was Catholic for about 23 years, and then the Spotlight scandal happened, and I was a young mother, and I was like, and I had already started doubting, and then I was like, no.
The what scandal? I'm sorry.
The Spotlight scandal, the Catholic Church childhood sex abuse scandal. It first broke in our diocese in Boston, and I was part of that diocese. And yeah, it was, and I had already, I never really bought it, but church was very much about family connection and community. So I kind of wanted to hold on to that, but right. I didn't vibe. And then that was just like, okay, nail in the coffin, I'm gone. And then I was pagan for 13 years, and I was a high priestess in the pagan religion for 10.
So, like, when you say pagan, was there any like specific pagan religion, or you just mean that like in general, just non-Christian?
So, what we would call ourselves, it was very much under. So most people know the in Western culture, like Wicca, which is like the what we would call the modern understanding of witchcraft. And that was created by Gerald Gardner in the 1940s. And he was an amateur archaeologist. And we even joke, even in the religion, we say the reason why we have this religion is because Gerald Gardner wanted to start a cult and watch naked ladies dance around a fire. So we say that is part of our religion. And we also say that we worship nature. We can prove it exists. But there's also a lot of woo-woo stuff added onto that. I knew a lot of it was a placebo effect. But the idea, especially at the time I was practicing the religion, my life felt very chaotic. And it felt like I had, with magic, you felt like you're psychologically gaslighting yourself into believing you had some kind of effect. And it's the same thing as prayer, like, counting the hits and ignoring the misses. So
okay. And and that's it's a funny thing about like the whole cult thing, he just wanted to, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's like, if not the top one, definitely like the top 2 to 3 for cult leaders. They just want to fuck. They just want to have sex with women.
Yeah, I'm like, do we have like, but like also too, like it's kind of sneaky, because like it's very accepting of it doesn't have all the bad vibes of like regular religion. Like it's very queer positive. It's very you'll find a lot of progressive pagans. I was one. Very left wing, very progressive politics, but also you'll get flavor of cult, like Nexium, very like non-religious cult, very like, pop psychology, and then he was burning, and then he was like, branding girls. Fucked up. Doesn't need religion.
Actually,
So, but you'll not to that extreme, but there's little pockets of it. Like, what was the one? God, it was God is One cult, the one where like they mummify their leader's body.
What?
And she drinks a bunch of cordial silver to fight cancer, and she was like super abusive and streamed all the time. So there's like these little pockets of like new age pagany, getting back to nature. There's an energy that flows through you and me, and that gives us psychic powers or chakras or whatever. There's a little bit of like a flavor of like Eastern mysticism bullshit, and then we add some Europe, and then you flavor it, because if it's old and exotic, then it's better, I guess. Then like, but also I was the pagan that like I didn't believe like using CBD oil would really cure me of my ADHD. I had to be on chemicals, like actual chemicals, So I never bought that, but I wanted to believe. I was definitely Mulder. I wanted to believe.
So now, was this person named Amy Carlson, like Mother God or something like that?
Yes, Mother God. Okay. Yes. Oh, you need to watch I watched a documentary on that cult. And Fundy Fridays has done this cult. It is. Oh, I think Behind the Bastards did it too. Wow. I think a lot of podcasts have done this. This cult is crazy because it's modern. This only was like a couple of years ago. Like it just right after the pandemic. It was like,
and that's wild. Like, like I'm not knocking anybody, who ends up joining a cult, because it can happen to anyone. But you and
I could join one tomorrow. Just get someone getting us to the right mind, my catch us the right mindset. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, it is kind of amazing. Like, even like today, like 21st century, like cameras exist, video, audio recording, all that exists. But yet you could, like, it's still possible to fall into this cult. I mean, MAGA, for instance, right? I mean, I call them a cult now. I mean,
oh, they're definitely a cult. when you're kind of excusing the Epstein files, I'm like, okay, like we have gone beyond the pale now.
Right.
Like, I'm like, ooh, I wasn't okay with that. I wasn't okay. I was like, oh, he's kind of creepy. Not a big fan of that. And then that happened. And I was like, okay, well, all right now.
Yeah, like didn't QAnon start off as like Donald Trump is the hero who's going to stop the Democrats from raping children, and all of a sudden the Epstein files come out and they're like, oh, well, I mean,
well,
like really,
This is the thing, like, this is how people are telling on themselves. Okay, like this is how because the people that really do like the really hard work of like clearing up sex crimes, like it is not glamorous. It's psychologically damaging to the people that are trying to get these kids in like safe places. There's a lot of funding that has now been cut for these programs because our president sucks ass. And that's the real work, like the legal, day-to-day bullshit of working in sex trafficking, right? And these motherfuckers think that they're gonna. I'm going to look to the world. Look at the hero I am. I'm gonna get the sex criminal, and that's how they're telling on themselves. Is when like it's the look at me,
right,
and then everybody's in on it, and then but then I have a feeling they're going on the dark web and like sending each other the worst pictures imaginable, because they're all going to congregate in this like these little pockets. And lo and behold, they ended up on 4chan, which has a lot of childhood bad things and some very misogynistic and awful places. So it's like, am I surprised? Not really. So
Okay, and we'll rewind a little bit. Now, you said throughout your faith, you kind of just weren't buying it the whole time, right? What, like, not necessarily not buying it, but you definitely were doubting, like, even as a
oh
teen.
yeah.
And you said that your family wasn't necessarily fundamental, like, y'all still appreciated science, and y'all,
Yeah.
y'all did the medical thing. So, like, what was it? So, hmm. I guess you didn't grow up in the South then.
I did not. I grew up in New Hampshire.
See, all
So
right, that explains
like
it.
like my mom's from Quebec. She came here in the 1950s, and I am very French. Well, my family's very French Canadian.
Okay.
So, and then my dad's father is from Albania, and he came over in 1911 when he was 12 years old on a stowaway boat that never made it to Ellis Island. So that's another story. But that was, I'll tell you that at the revival. I'll tell you the story of my dad, my grandpa immigrating to the United States. But the King family, my grandmother's family, they've been here since Mayflower days, but it's all up in New England. So I am all the white people countries.
Okay.
It's all like Northern and Southern Europe. It's all the white people. Like, I was looking for a little bit of exoticism. I was like, maybe Spain. Like, no. Irish.
You don't even put the flavorful white. It's just
Now I'm a flavorful.
Okay,
I'm spicy as garlic.
That can have a little spice to it now. Okay, so with that being said, so your family was actually pretty progressive, for theists.
It's a very weird, because my parents had me when they were older and they were more financially stable. My mom had me when she was 46.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. I'm 49. The thought of me having a 3-year-old right now terrifies me.
Right.
So anyway. So she was still very traditionally Catholic. Like, she wanted a girl. She had a problem with sexuality and things like that. And then I had my father, who didn't really understand. Like, he wanted me to save myself for marriage, but also he was exposing me to the world. And also I was queer. I was getting two different messages. I'm getting this modern, progressive, science forward worldview, and then my mother is trying to keep me in the 1940s. And I love my mama more than anything, but that was the poison that was put into her brain. And then, but also at the same time, she wanted me to go to college. She wanted me to have an education. She told me that I should really focus on what I wanted to do with my life first. But also she wanted me to get married. So I'm like, it's like these two different conversations, and right. I'm like, I wanted to go to school, but I didn't have the emotional maturity when I got out of high school. I've done different types of education, but I kind of landed in psychology. I decided to pick a degree where I'm not going to make any money. So
it's always like the cool degrees where you're like, dang, there's no job in this. What the fuck? Like,
Yeah. But I also, because of that, it's kind of that was like when I started taking psychology and philosophy classes. That's when this started in really in 20. I went to college older, and I was sitting in. Well, it was 2009 that I went to my first philosophy class, and then when I combined that with the psychology, everything started, especially when we got into cognitive psychology and how we trick ourselves, and that our brains are not very good. Like, they're like good. We understand that we live in this reality, but perception of reality is different.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I was like, and then how memory works. And also I took a death and dying class, which was also very instrumental, because you just talk about mortality. The best thing is when we went to the mortician, um, place, the funeral home, and they explain what they do to the bodies and things like that. And I was fascinated. Like if I wasn't super grossed out by squishy things,
Right.
like I love the science of death. Like it's so fascinating. I just don't want to be one. Like,
Right. Yeah. And
uh,
and it's funny too. I remember, you know, so my uncle passed like 2 years ago.
yeah,
And, like, and I know they do stuff to the bodies, but yeah, it's just so weird seeing well, the body of who was once your loved one. Like, look, I'm like,
it's
he
weird.
looks fake. Like, like
like
he looks
yeah, because
like
my brother passed away in 2017, and I was the like when in the moment you're just like super sad, but like reflecting on it, I'm like that's so weird that we like
right.
say like here. Like I understand it's important for closure, like you need like some kind of like it's part of the grief process of acceptance, like I get it, but also at the same time I'm like yeah, but I'm like this is weird, this is a weird ritual we do. Like because
Yeah.
it doesn't look like there's no warmth, I think that's the problem, like it's and I think like just the body, and it's weird.
Yeah, and I remember so I don't know. I mean, I'm not diagnosed, but I think I may have some of that tism. But I remember my grandmother, I did not mean to sound so cold. I was just being scientific.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yeah, but I mean, like I think she said something about, oh, you don't remember where the cemetery is? Like, you don't care about your uncle? I was like, I mean, it's not really him, grandma. That's just the body. And I remember her face. I was like, I mean, I didn't mean it like that. I just like,
Right. Yeah. You're like, no, oh fuck. Like, damn
um,
it. I said
but,
birds.
but like, and I always heard about people having this experience, but it's so, I didn't know what to feel. Like, I was definitely upset, but it finally happened to me. Like, because my family, my family is Christian. I'm not, but yeah, there was this one pastor. First of all, she was a woman. That's strike one. That's just, as far as Christianity, but but it's just like
You
really like.
progressives.
So I'm just like,
Progressive Christians.
but but she pulled the. Do you know where you're going when you die? I'm like, lady, really?
You
Like
know where
we're
you're going.
already like facing mortality by looking at my uncle in the casket, and you're scaring us with hell right now. Like, which it's so
It's so weird. Like that was the thing. Like when my dad passed, I said goodbye to him privately, and then I didn't end up going to the funeral. I stayed home. There was a lot of stuff going on in my life at that time, so but I stayed home, and and I'm kind of glad I wasn't there because I'm not the Christian. Like I'm not the Catholic. Like there's a little bit of prayer. I really like the military salute they gave my father because he was in the Korean War, so that was nice.
okay.
That I really liked. And when they told a story about my father's life, each of my brothers shared a story about my dad when they were growing up. So I thought that was really nice. And the churchy stuff, but I am the black sheep. So one of my cousins has been paying attention to what I do, and it's been watching my content, which I was very surprised to find out at a family reunion because I didn't think anyone in my family was watching my stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So yeah, that's funny too because my grandmother she she's like, wait, so y'all doing a revival? So what, y'all going to church? I thought y'all did. I mean, it's a play on words, grandma. I mean, because because I guess that's like the one thing that theists don't get. Like every group has some sort of community. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And yeah, we're gonna congregate too. But it's like, oh, so it's like church then. You guys are religion. Not necessarily.
I'm like, why is it okay? Like, we don't go to like a football game and say that everybody that gathered there to watch the football game are all like, a
Right.
part of the football religion.
Yeah, we're
like
worshiping the Falcons.
Feels
Right?
like that, but also I don't think like, everyone's losing sleep over if like FIFA's going to get the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Then, other than worry about your soul, like, I mean, I don't know, like, we don't call that a religion. So that's the thing. I'm always like, but I'm like, is there a tennis religion? Is there a golf religion? Is there a Nirvana religion? Like whatever band you like, is there a Drake religion? Is there a Tory? Like, what are you talking about?
Right, yeah, like people congregate on similar interests all the time. I mean, but you know what though? I mean, matter of fact, I should pay my tithes to the Kurt Cobain temple.
We should. I mean, the man's been dead for 21 years. No, hold on. I was 60 when he died. Hold on. Let me do math. It was 33 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
So old. I'm so old. They found his body the day before my 16th birthday.
Ah, man.
Were you a
Nirvana fan at 16?
This is the weird thing. I was listening to like the Chronic and like Run DMC and like Michael Jackson and Prince and shit. And on the other end, I'm listening to like System of the Down and like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alanis Morissette and also some pop mixed in there. So I'll give a toast to my first goddess, Debbie Gibson.
Okay, so now you're a part of recovering from religion. Now personally for you, like, is there any religious trauma that you may have experienced? Because you seem like you had like a pretty good, upbringing as far as.
I never dealt with the, oh my God, like, this is a worldview I've always had. And now I realize that, the world isn't what I thought it was. I didn't go through that huge paradigm shift. I was just like, oh, this is just a story. Because like especially through like being part of the pagan religion, you learn a lot of old mythology. And you study everything from animism to some like pretty philosophical, metaphysical woo-woo ideas in that realm. But once I started to dissect that, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, this is just another myth. And then when I started studying social psychology, and then I understood how religion spread, and then everything just connected, but what I experience is the infiltration of religion into society as a queer woman. So that's the trauma. It's not so much religion itself as religion has affected us as a social species, and it affects us on our morals and how we vote and how we perceive other human beings and which human beings gets rights, and it's all tangled up in all that bullshit. Right. So I think it's more of the societal effect of religion, I feel, rather than the actual Catholic religion having an effect on my psyche.
Right. Say that again for the people who be like, well, why the hell y'all always got to talk about it so much? If you don't believe in God, well, why y'all always got to talk about him? I think you believe in God, secretly, So
religion gets its grubby little hands in everything. Like it's everywhere. Like I'm sorry, like I can't drive down the street without seeing a church. But like I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, if I want to join a church, it'd be so much easier than trying to find out like two secular people that live in my city. Right. I'm like, because also I have ADHD and I have issues with socializing, so it's hard. So I'm like,
just imagine if you grew up in a more like fundamentalist like version of the faith. They probably would have thought that your ADHD was, the devil or something. Like, I don't know, like right, if you were like Pentecostal or something,
And it's I think that's the idea of I went I think this was about 3 years ago. My friend Sarah was leader of our local chapter at the Satanic Temple, and she wanted to plan a revival, basically a big tent revival. And then some stuff happened with the church, and she started her own chapter, and that's a different conversation. But so she's like, oh, so there's this healer, faith healer, strolling through Sarasota. And she's like, you want to go? And I was like, okay. And that was not, Catholics don't do this. They don't do this. They don't do faith healing.
Right.
As part of a sort like have tent revivals. Like you don't see like pastors, like priests, like going on world tours, preaching that they can heal people, right? And my friend Sarah and a couple other members of the church, they grew up with this in charismatic Christianity. I did not. So I'm just seething mad. Like I'm just angry. Like I was so uncomfortable, and because like the worst thing, I was watching like this Latino couple, and they had like a 6-year-old girl, and you can tell she's knocking on this door. Like she has some kind of form of cancer or some like serious illness, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, one, this is how fucked up the American healthcare system is, that these people had no, because I know where I grew up in Sarasota, it's very white. And so they're not probably getting the same type of services. And then that leads them to other desperations, and they're immigrants. And they believe this dude has magic powers that's going to heal their child. And they see the testimonies and they want to believe. And that's the thing that I was like, and I could tell they're charlatans. I know that I'm like, this is a used car salesman. And there's 400 people there. And I'm just like, what? And this is my city. That's it. And I'm like, my gases were a flabbered. Like,
yeah, and it's funny too, like, those Charlotte, and now I don't know, like I can't put anything past the human brain. I believe some of them probably actually believe their own BS. But I have to say, like, you did say a perfect word, charlatan, because they have the perfect scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I guess God decided not to fix it after all. I'm just, God is just going through me. Like, so it's like, so they can't claim responsibility,
Right. Right. Like, I want to watch the Mighty Gemstones. It's all about the Southern family and their evangelicals. And
that's more with John Goodman.
Yeah, I want to watch that. Like that sounds definitely my show.
I'm gonna try to get back into it. I watched
Did you like it?
I watched the first couple of episodes. I just sort of fell off of it. I mean, it wasn't bad. Yeah, I just sort of fell off. So I'm gonna try it again. Like, was he supposed to? Well,
I didn't watch it, so I am not.
Okay,
because I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering what real life pastors were they trying to like. I was like, it couldn't have been the Falwells, but I'm not sure.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, well, or maybe the Grahams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, possibly.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, I mean, like pick a fucked up evangelical that is going to like rip people, like old people. Like, I'm like, that's the thing that like it's so gross. Like these people just prey on desperation, and just like. And then I have to be a rabble rouser and a pain in the ass. Right. Because I'm like, no, we don't do this.
Right. It's like we're considered the assholes when we're saying, hey, do not put your life-saving meds down the drain just because. No,
Grandma, you don't give $10 to that asshole. Like, take that $10 and get yourself, your medication, Grandma. Like, holy.
There was there was a rapper named Big Crit. He had a good line. He was like, he was just, just talking about the what's that word? Like that contrast between like pastors trying to help the poor, but he's like, well, how you fit so many rings on a helping hand? You know what I mean? Like that's what he said. Like,
I like that. That's a good line.
And so now interesting. So. Now, how long did you know you was like, queer? Like,
I think I had a first inkling when I was like 7, but then I had a sex with a girl when I was 15, and that was the confirmation.
Okay, now, so like you said, your mom was more of the fundamentalist. Did she ever preach anti-gay anything, or you just read it in the Bible? And I mean, I know you've seen. you know.
My mom was okay that gay people existed. For example, she has met my best friend Vincent. He is a gay man. She thinks he's awesome. But she'll also say to me, whenever I mention him, is that the gay one? Yes, Mom, that's the gay one. And I really like him. He's a very nice man. I go, yes, we've been friends for over 20 years. Yes, he's a very nice man, Mom. So that's my mom, like she, and like, don't even get me started on gender with that woman. Oh my Lord. Like I told my oldest child, because they're not binary, I'm like, do you want to talk? I'm like, do you want to have the gender conversation with your 95-year-old grandmother who is just like, gay people are cool? And I was like, that's your choice. I'm just telling you, I know my mom. Like, it's not so much she's a bigot. It's just that these are things she's never thought about. Like she knows that, like she knows that, like she's so, my niece just had a baby. This is my mom is very white. So my niece just had a baby, and her partner is a person of color. And so we're talking about the baby, and my mom goes, he's going to be colored. And I'm like, Mom, I go, and like she accepted it.
Like, 95. I mean,
I go, Mom, what color are they gonna? I'm like, what color? And she paused, and she goes, black. I go, okay. I'm like, Mom, I go, that's what they're called. They're called black people. I'm like, people of color, not their color.
Does she still say the blacks? Does she?
She doesn't say the blacks. Thank goodness. But like she knows racism is wrong, and she knows it. But she, like my mom, like she's like my father. My father would tell racist jokes to different races. Like he would say, like he'd be like, I remember a time we were in a cab in Montreal, and he told a Chinese racist joke to a black man, and me and my ex-husband are sitting, oh no, like I'm having secondhand embarrassment. But he would never do that in front of a person of color. And also, like, my nephew is Hispanic. My brother adopted my nephew is from Guatemala, and my brother, one of my brother's best friends, he's been friends with for 40 years in high school, is he's black, and they have a adopted little girl that's also mixed race because his wife is white, and accepts these people in his house and doesn't care and will feed you and everything. It's like he's like Prejudice Anonymous. He's like prejudiced in a way that he doesn't realize that it's always been harmful. It was just the way they talked, and then when you correct him, he doesn't understand why. I'm like, because like that. I'm like, yeah, Grandpa was an immigrant. He's from Albania, and he experienced racism, and he was a Muslim. I get all that. But I'm like, you're not in that world. So, I'm sorry. Please don't. So that it was kind of, so with the queer thing, I'm just using that as an example of the complexity of trying to understand like their polysexual, polyamorous daughter. I don't think it would.
Yeah, you definitely got to like spoon feed them that,
Yeah, I don't think that would have got. And plus, I've been like, I was married to my ex-husband, and I'm married to my current husband. I've always been poly. Just you don't say anything because I never felt it was safe.
Right.
Like I felt like judgment because it's definitely from the religious thing. You have one partner. I'm like, well, cool. Like, I tried.
I mean, but even with which is funny because it's just like, okay, so what? Solomon can have all these fucking wives, but I can't have but thing about the poly stuff too. I mean, just like monogamy, there's still rules that you have to follow. There's still like an agreement among your partners that you got to stay steadfast in. You can't just do what you want.
You have to. It requires so much communication and so much of like
you're dealing with multiple personalities.
Yeah, and also being honest about your emotions. Like honest in a way that you're not. You're taking responsibility of your feelings, but you want your partner to meet you somewhere. that's any relationship. We just poly people, like, we also recognize that not everybody can fulfill our needs. Like some people can, and like my husband has to be one of them. But also, like, yeah, if right now it's just me and him. We live as a monogamous couple. Like he's what I call my core partner. I want other relationships with people, but I've been hurt recently, so taking a break. And I gotta work on myself a little bit more. But also, that just also comes part of it. Like, you recognize, like, I need to take a step back and, kind of work on my emotions. So what I do bring to the table is authentic as I can, and I won't bring in my chaos with me,
Okay.
And that's a very adult, mature thing to do when you're having a consensual relationship, like any other relationship.
Right. Yeah, you gotta be able to talk about it.
Right. So like, I think with my family and being queer, especially, like, again, I've been completely out. Like, I'll tell anybody, I don't care. Since I moved down here and I met my current husband, because I'm around a lot of progressive people that just don't care. They just want me to be a nice person. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that's
I'm ready. Yeah. So, I think also too, like, not growing up fundamental. I grew up enough in religion that I know the steps, I know the rules, I know, like, I know the language, right? But also, Catholics aren't real Christians, even though we both, like, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because, like, we both believe in the like, Catholics and Christians both believe in the resurrected Christ. So what the fuck? Like, no, because, like, it's like just because we follow the Pope, and I'm like, you follow deacons and other,
didn't Protestantism come after Catholicism? I don't know. It's like,
yeah, Protestant. You were protesting the church because Martin Luther, once the printing press became a thing, he was like, oh, let's allow people to read their own Bibles. And I'm like, okay, good for the education.
Right.
Bad for the book, but also medieval Europe. So I gotta lower my expectations. These people think that leeching is a good medical. Well, it is a good medical. Yeah, actually, I take that back. Leeches are used in medicine. So
still today?
Yeah, they're still yeah, they eat dead flesh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, and no, it's not with blood clotting, but they use maggots to help with eating dead flesh. So if you get like a diabetic patient, they will have poor circulation to, like, their extremities, and their muscles go with atrophy. And if they don't get proper medical care, because our medical care system sucks and people delay, the skin starts to rot. And so they go to the hospital, and the maggots eat the dead flesh. It's really interesting, because they said we just can't find anything that is not better.
Okay,
and
wow.
Which is in some blood clotting.
Okay, well, I did not know.
Yeah, it's really weird. But so I'm like, okay, I'm like, good on you, ancient people.
Yeah.
But also humors. So
I mean, that's like my duality with ancient people. Is like, now my little brother, if he joins us, like, this is his pet peeve and other people's pet peeve that I tend to do. I am not afraid to call the ancients stupid, which I know they're not.
Oh God. Okay.
Like, well, it's just as intelligent as we are. It's just they don't know as much. But it's like, I'm like, especially religious people, they give ancient people a little bit too much credit.
Right. I'm like, listen, you. These people thought that manatees were mermaids. So let's have a conversation. Okay? I'm just gonna say.
Some ancient people thought that semen came from your spine. I don't know how they got that.
Right,
but,
right. There was. Do you know? Did I tell you? I don't know if I tell this story a lot of Zobek, the alligator god of ancient Egypt.
what was their name? Hold on. Now I gotta.
So,
Yeah,
so
that.
Sobek, Sobek,
Sobek.
Sobek.
Sobek. Okay, what about it?
Okay.
Them?
No, and I repeat this story. I don't know if this is 100% true, but it sounds so weird that I believe it. So, in ancient Egypt, to worship Zobek, and because like crocodiles lived in the Nile and they had to go down the Nile for everything, and so one of the rituals to make sure that there was no drought is that men would masturbate over the Nile and to the god Zobek to bring the waters back. I'm not I'm not sure this is 100% real, and I refuse to look it up because I want it to be true because it's so funny and it just makes me laugh because it's just this idea of like, a bunch of like ancient priests like standing on a riverside, like masturbating into the river. So like the waters will cut. Like this is the like think about this. It's too good.
I always made fun of Allah, the Muslim version of Yahweh. Like,
Right.
geez, you want your worshippers face down and ass up, but like this is the first God I ever heard of who got bukkake. So I mean, just like you, I'm a just not look it up so I can just believe
Listen,
that this weirdo God wanted.
we were talking like I had a stream for my my over 300 subscribers the other day. Me and Kelly were I'm giving away a couple of free tickets for the revival reason during the stream, and we're trying to raise a little bit more money. And it was really funny because somehow the conversation turned to feet. I don't know. We're talking about Bible stories, I guess, because we were saying like how in the Bible there's a feet is a euphemism for penis. I can say words. Yeah, and there is a lot of correlation if you think about it. If you read those passages, if you think penis, it makes more sense.
Wow.
Yeah, anointing his feet, washing his feet, like there. And we started talking about like the Psalm of Psalms, and like my Chad Harris, he grew up in the IBLP cult, which is the Shining Happy People. It's a documentary on Netflix. It's really, really good about like the Duggars and the cult that they belong to, the IBLP, the quiverful weirdos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the funnies. They're super funny. They're super funny because they like go to homeschool and like thinking that they think feminism is bad, and like and like the keep sweet sort of, it's a blend of like some weird Mormon shit. It's always the same thing. Like it's always a blend of like we're very, whether you're Baptist or Methodist or whatever Protestant, pick a flavor of undenominational Christianity, and a little weird. Maybe some capitalism in there.
Of
There
course,
you
go. Yeah. And that's the thing too. I mean, and yeah, people who have to come from them or like the Westboro or anything. I know, yeah, recovery for religion is definitely needed. I mean, and I told you this on Fireside Chat. I mean, like kind of like you know what I'm saying? Growing up, like, I learned about dinosaurs before Adam and Eve. So yeah, like I'm balancing
right.
the scientifics versus the myths, right? And it's like I'm over here having to fit the whole real world into this limited, fallible book. But yeah, it's like, I mean, death is already scary enough, but when you grow up
Right.
thinking that there's a chance that you can be tortured forever, I mean, yeah, like that's something you got to recover from.
That is the biggest thing people call in about, is the fear of hell. It's the biggest one. They're much more easy to deconstruct that the religion may be wrong. They can deconstruct that the clergy is wrong. They can even know it's a lie, and it fucks up your brain because it becomes part of the fear center.
Mhm.
So you're basically telling your nervous system to be afraid of something that does not exist. And you can know it logically that it does not exist, but your emotions don't care.
Right.
Because it's that those neurons have been connected that this, like, I can't see it, I can't touch it, I can't, experience it, but well, what if like, it's that fear, the indoctrination that this is a place that I can still go, even if they think the church is bullshit.
Right. Because it's like, I mean, not to pull a Pascal, but it's just like, like, oh, you fucking moron. Why did you see the truth? Burn. Like, oh, fuck. Like, it's,
and then I'd be like, well, you did a pretty crappy job of making me not believe in you. Like, and you made me this way. Like, if this is a determinism conversation, that I'm like, you made me this way. You knew I would turn out this way. So you're punishing me for something you knew I would be.
Now, according to Islam, I mean, now I think, well, obviously in Christianity, was it the Calvinists? They're like determinists. But, if you add, like, according to Islam, like, oh yeah, like the people who don't believe, God purposely misled us. You know what I'm saying? If Islam is true, God purposely misled us. So I don't know. I guess just fuck Tenzin and fuck Helen, I guess.
I guess so. Like, I guess, like, well, we get eternal fire. At least, like, listen, it's gonna be you and me and probably Prince and Carl Sagan and David Bowie.
Right.
And like,
oh, sorry.
Really other cool people. It's gonna be it's gonna be all the scientists and the rock stars, and then it's fine.
What does somebody say? Like, there's probably gonna be so much. There's probably so many scientists down in hell that they probably already made a air conditioning unit.
Right? I know, like, I'm gonna do this. There's some kind of social psychologist who was like kind of fucked with a demon and goes, "Hey, do you enjoy your life? I don't even know.
Right.
I think there could be more.
like, have you ever questioned why it's like you're punishing bad people, but you're considered bad. You ever thought of that? Like,
like, how's that work? And I go, so I'm like, is the penis flattener something you really needed? Like,
Right.
I'm like, just do a start. Just say 4 people and stick them in a room forever. You don't have to kill them as continuous torture.
And even like on the flip side, right? You go to heaven. So like, what? Like, is my memory being erased every day? Because I mean, I'm gonna get tired of that too. So,
like that's the thing. Like when you would, I remember, like, even now, like, if I try to I can see it's ridiculous. When you're like 12, you're like, okay. I'm like, wait. So these people live forever. Okay. All right, what does that mean? Am I me as I am now? Because you see adults and you know what death is at this point. So you've seen, like, maybe had an old person die. So it's like, is grandma like is grandma going to heaven as grandma with Alzheimer's? Like,
right,
like which version of yourself would you be? And then, like, well, you're gonna it's gonna be you at 22. And I'm like, I hated my life when I was 22.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah, like, are you going up there like the same age? Because I mean, there's gonna be a lot of old people. I mean, a lot of young too, a lot of babies. I mean,
a lot of babies. There's gonna be so many babies, so many dead fetuses everywhere. It's gonna be
hopefully their parents chose the right religion, I guess.
Like dead baby fetuses, it's just basically the tile of heaven. Because after a while, I'm like, where are you gonna put them all?
It's like, these streets aren't paved with gold; they're just paved with babies.
Babies. Zygotes.
There you go, zygote. Oh man.
This is the thing, like, okay, you're telling me, like, it has a soul. Okay, cool. Where'd the soul come from? Well, it has to come from the sperm and the egg getting together. I'm like, okay, so is there like half the soul in the male and half the soul in the female, and then sperm, egg, boom, soul? Like, what? Like where? Well, and then it's the whole, like, it enters the body, and I'm like, then that's determinism. because because there's the soul like just like this amorphous blob that just exists in your skin and it has to grow consciousness which comes with the development of the brain. Like think, please think. Let's ask questions. And I remember asking myself these questions because I was reading my dad bought me an Encyclopedia Britannica. Like that's the thing that I was like I was reading real things, you know, and because he wanted me to be smart. And I'm like those were the first seeds, you know, but I think the social pressure, and because I do have a very close relationship with my mother, and I was a very awkward kid. I was made fun of a lot. Like I had a lot of self-esteem issues. I knew I was doubting, but I didn't have the self-confidence yet to be like, this is bullshit. Like, you know,
Right.
I need to separate, and not as a form of rebellion because I had nothing to rebel against because I had good parents. You know,
Okay.
so it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like same here. I mean, you know, like I said, like religion was like a fact to my family, but my family wasn't necessarily like, you know, fundies. They definitely weren't on the world is 6,000 years old. You
I know. I'm
know,
so glad. Every time someone tells me their stories of growing up in those cults, like I'm like, what? How? Like how? I like
you
the
know,
concept of that is mind-boggling to me.
but but yeah, no,
Mhm.
like so when I first came out as atheist, I mean, you know, they were like, really? Like you don't believe in God? What do you believe in? Like, but you know, like no like punishments, if anything. I mean, I was low key the asshole. I wanted to talk to everyone. Like, hey, do you know this? Like, what the fuck? Hey, listen, how do you wrap your brain around that? It's like you fucking atheists always want to be me. Well, hold on now. I mean, your side is the one literally killing people. So let's like I'm just being annoying,
Like,
you
listen,
know.
like I like every time, like this is the thing. I'm always like, when I see, especially people from other cultures, like adopting Christianity, I was like, yeah, I'm like, yep, appropriate that
You
too. Right.
downgrade.
Like that's what I see. I'm like, oh no, you don't want to follow this. This is a bad place. Like this is the bad place. Don't come over here.
Hey, Princess Shylana, what's going on? Oh man, but you know, but now let's get into the revival of reason. I'm excited. You know, second annual revival of reason. I'll be
It's gonna be so
performing
much fun.
some songs over there. There's going to be a lot of speakers. And now, what will you be doing, Helen?
So I'm going to be fundraising. So I'll be doing live streaming of the talks, and I'll have like little tiny things to like bump up for more money. And I will also be speaking on a queer panel, and I will also be speaking on a content creator panel. So. And I
Hey, all
and,
right.
and I guess like Mandiza said on Saturday, she on Monday, she was like, and she's like, well, you're one of our speakers, and I'm like, what? And I was like, I'm just on two panels and I'm doing social media stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing speeches. She had me panic for like 2 seconds, and I was like, no, too much.
Oh,
So,
oh yeah, I'm definitely excited to watch your panels. I mean, as a content creator myself, now, you know, 'cause I would love to get as many tips as I can to, you know, spread.
I like I don't know how long I remind myself when I'm a woman, and in atheist YouTube, I'm a
Mhm.
unicorn. There's, please, ladies, like,
Oh
come on.
man, I mean,
There's like, it depends what the algorithm takes you because it's I've been mostly straight white dudes,
mhm.
and now just in the past few years, like people that look like you and me are doing our own content.
Right.
But I also realized that my content is very niche. I have over 300 subscribers. I was very surprised that random people watch my stuff. Like,
Oh
I thought,
yeah, man. Anybody's watching, that's for sure.
right? I'm like, wow, really? Because one of my friends, Lil, said that she was in a pharmacy, and somebody said, oh, I know you, and identified her, and I said, oh, I also watch Free Thinkers Fireside, and I was like, what? Like in a,
Oh, hey, see, look, there we
random
go. We're
drugstore
reaching
in
people.
Texas.
Yeah, we're definitely reaching folk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was very surprised. So
What was I gonna say? Gosh darn. Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of like representation. Now, the name I'm gonna drop. This damn clock. It's not too loud. Is it? You can still hear
I can
me?
hear it.
Okay, good. All right. So this name I'm gonna drop. You're gonna be like, but this was before she became the disappointment she was to our community. So, Ayan Hersey Ali, she had my attention first because A, she was black, and B, so I was like, oh, okay, like she actually helped me understand feminism a little bit more than what I used to think of it. Like, oh, what this is women hating men, and what are you gonna like? No, it's like, so it's funny how a figure like that, who now today I guess she's Christian or whatever, but you know, and she's I guess she's kind of doing that right wing grift too. But it's like, yeah, it's just funny how like that figure in the past was what kind of led me to be more progressive. So
it's one of those things that I always find fascinating, especially like people that are in minority groups. Like you're watching people, join the leopards are gonna eat your face party.
right.
And I'm like, no, not good idea. Don't do that. Because and I don't know what it is. Like watching her do that, like because like I watched her like back, like I did listen to her when I wasn't as left as I am now. I've definitely learned a lot more. But when I was watching other people that were on podcasts of people that were different than me and talking about, feminism and racial politics and things like that I was trying to absorb. She was one of the people on that journey. And then I was like, what happened, Candace? What happened? Like, what are you doing? Like, and then I'm like, oh no, okay, now I don't like you because not only are you grifting, you're harming people by your grifting, and that's not great.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about this before on the fireside chat. It's not hard to look smart when you're dumping on religion, right? I mean, of course, it's easy peasy. But but still, it's like I still like figures like Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins, like they're still smart guys, but now it's like some of their takes are just so you're like, what are you talking about?
This is the thing. Like I'm like I feel like what I want to like, especially Dawkins. I'm like, excuse me, sir. Yes, you're an evolutionary biologist. You are a very smart man. You did all the science. Great. Please don't talk about gender politics.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. But like, stay in your lane. Like I'm like, it would be like me saying I was like, because I own a vagina, I know all about like ape anatomy, like that. Like that's the level of stupid we're dealing with here. I'm like, stay in your lane. Like I'm not going to talk about my any. I will never talk about something I have not directly experienced with any sort of expertise. Like I'm not going to do that because. No, and especially when I'm sitting around like Dawkins, I'm like, you're a sexist. Stop it.
Yes, it's like the rationality went out the window once like trans stuff. like I'm like,
what? And you're a scientist. I think that's the frustrating part is that you're a scientist. This is like the gender and sex is a part of evolutionary biology. Like it's how we understand things and how things reproduce, and also that gender expression varies by species. So stop that. And it's usually due to societal and environmental pressure, just like us. So I'm like, guess what? We're all part of nature. Stop putting things in categories, sir. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you're just afraid that you're gonna be trying to someone that might have a penis. Well, I'm sorry that patriarchy boiled itself into your brain and you internalized some homophobia. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's still time for that to happen. I mean, South Park kind of
that was wild, and that was before the debate. That was years ago, and I was like, you're kind of doing it in like this really hilarious way. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, I dig it. Like, I'm like, this kind of Duncan Richard Dawkins. I can dig it. Because like it's like the whole when we're having these conversations, it's about like again, I want to make sure everybody has human rights, and then we can debate philosophy. That's one goal. You know, second goal is I want people to stay in their lane because if you talk like you, that's the thing. If you repeat something enough with confidence, even if it's a lie, people will believe it.
Right.
That's a lot because like, and we all fall for this, you know, like you and I aren't immune to this at all. You know, we want to believe a narrative, you know, but it's easier for us to shift if we're wrong now. Like if I'm wrong, I want to know I'm wrong, you know, and then I might feel uncomfortable for a little bit. And especially if been like if the thing about Zobek is wrong, I'm going to be a little sad. That's not true. I hope it is. But it's one of those things. But also, I'm like, should I be spreading? It's like a very harmless thing that I can be wrong about. Like, it's not good. Like, if I'm wrong about, you know, ancient Egyptians masturbating into the Nile to bring back the waters because they think Zobek, their god, their crocodile god, is going to make the river, you know, the you know, prevent drought. Like, it doesn't hurt anybody. But if you're saying that, like, you know, one group of human beings deserve, you know, this type of life, and other types of human beings deserve this, that, the other type of life, and we're gonna play some Animal Farm shit. I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. That's bad.
And, you know, and that's like the perfect point to end. Yes, as Helen said, stay in your lane and understand you can be wrong about things. Helen, is there any final departing words you want to leave off with?
I want to remind everybody that Black Non-Believers is trying to get to 50K for 15 years. If you would like to donate and also share the links, please go to blacknonbelievers.org, and there is the donate channel. So please click on that link. Also, as well, the Revival Reason will be June 12th to the 14th in Atlanta, Georgia. If you would like to go see our faces, join us. That'd be so buy your tickets. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be really some really great talks, some great music, some fantastic food, and all the hugs you want. So please come join us for that. And I think that's all I got right now. Please go subscribe to my channel. Please do. I like attention.
Hold on. What's your channel called?
Free Thinkers Fireside. My tagline is we put the human in humanists one cozy chat at a time, and I mean I mean so,
Free Thinkers Fireside.
Free Thinkers Fireside.
All right, I'm putting that in the comment there. So, all right, everyone. As Helen said, please subscribe to Free Thinkers Fireside. Be prepared for the Revival of Reason coming up in what, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks?
2 weeks from Friday.
2 weeks from Friday. Be there or be square. All right. And Helen, thank you for coming on. I hope to have you on for more episodes. All right.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have you on my show again.
All right.
And we're gonna hang out. I'm gonna meet your brother next time, and we're gonna hang.
Yes, hopefully. Yes, ma'am. All right.
All right.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Bye, Internet.